Good morning, everybody. I am, as you can see, not at my home studio, but I'm live streaming from the Delta Lounge, the airport. I'm headed to New York for a conference and hoping that, oops. Hey, good morning, everyone. As you can see, I am live streaming from the airport right now at the Delta Lounge. And I am just probably as thrilled as you are about the election results nation. Is this not working? Okay, maybe this is working finally. Hey guys, I am live from the Delta Lounge, the airport, and I am as thrilled probably as you are about the election results last night. To me, what we saw was triumph, solidarity over selfishness, and the victory of affordability over authoritarianism. Now I'm going to have to cram all this in into about 25 minutes because I don't want to be late boarding my plane. But I want to say this is bigger than just an election in New York City, although that has galvanized the public. Let me just start with the big items that I think where we are. Okay. Let me start first with my mayor. Voted for Mary Sheffield, and she is now mayor of Detroit. So Detroit has had 75 mayors, I think, since 1824. And just so you know, the city of Detroit, the 1824 charter, this is getting into the weeds, was established before Michigan even joined the Union, even before Michigan became a state. So 75 mayors, not a single woman has ever been in that seat. And Mary Sheffield, who was on the Detroit City Council, was just elected last night. And so that is something new. We also have, of course, as you can see, Abigail Spanberger was elected the governor of Virginia, and she is actually the first female governor in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Now, who else do we have? Abigail Spanberger is now governor of New Jersey. Of course, she's not the first female governor. You might remember Christine Todd Whitman, but this is still a big deal because not only did Spanberger win the Virginia governor's race, but I think the Democrats and sort of a trifecta. I think now Democrats, if I might be right on this, maybe a super majority in the Virginia Senate and also have the Virginia House. What else do we have? Of course, Zoran Mamdani beat Andrew Cuomo twice, not just once this year. And I think for a lot of people, seeing Andrew Cuomo defeated was a victory in and of itself. More on Mamdani in a minute. He is also the first Muslim mayor of New York, and I think maybe the first South Asian. I'm sorry, North Asian. I just did that wrong. I'm sorry. Okay. And then, of course, Prop 50 in California, redistricting. This was a statewide citizen position, and it won like by huge margins. And now, let me share this with you. Let's get a little bit into the weeds here real quick. So you can see it. Daniel, which is the handle for Daniel Nishishin, I can't say his name right, who runs Bolts, gave us these details. So this was like last night at almost 2 in the morning, or this morning early at 2 in the morning. Here's what he knew. This is like in 3 tweets or 3 posts on Blue Sky. First, Prop 51 in California. The Virginia Dems flipped the governor's seat blue, lieutenant governor, as well as the AG. And in Virginia, the Democrats gained legislative seats as they did in New Jersey and Mississippi. The Democrats defended the New Jersey governorship, kept it blue. And in New Jersey and Virginia, trifectas, meaning the governor and the legislature, I think is what they're saying, both houses. Of course, Mamdani won in New York. I mean, this is unbelievable what happened last night. The Pennsylvania Democrats win the state's Supreme Court. In Maine, an anti-mail voting measure lost, went to the public. And Georgia flipped 2 statewide offices blue. This is huge. What else do we have? Larry Krasner and Alvin Bragg win, and they, of course, kind of, district attorney jobs. And Larry Krasner is in Philadelphia, and Bragg in Manhattan. Colorado, on this ballot initiative, funded free school meals by raising taxes on the super wealthy or millionaires. I can't remember which it is, maybe lower than super wealthy. Amazingly, J.D. Vance's half lost an election. Pennsylvania Democrats flipped the Erie County executive, the Bucks County DA and sheriff. These are sort of more reddish areas. Pennsylvania Democrats also ousted all Republicans from Bucks School Board. So this was once ground zero of a right-wing takeover. Now there is not a single Republican on those school boards. Charlotte approved a transit tax, and Democrats flipped Connecticut towns like New Britain, which were much more conservative. And finally, Pennsylvania Democrats, they have 2 open statewide judge seats. Pennsylvania Dems flipped Erie County executive and defended some swing counties. The Dems flipped New York's 2 different counties in New York, and Seattle, 3 counties, I think, in New York. And Seattle Republicans, the city attorney says trails big. I don't know where that is now. Minnesota Democrats defended the state Senate, and the Democrats defended swing legislative seats in New York and Washington. What Daniel also had is, which is huge, that there used to be a GOP Republican supermajority in the Mississippi State Senate, and that's been broken. Some things that are still unknown, and we will learn about them soon. So, I mean, I can't think of a single race Democrats lost. Of course, Donald Trump is fuming. On True Social, his big thing is he's claiming the reason why Democrats won is because he wasn't on the ballot and because of the shutdown. Okay, cool, Donald. I think that's not exactly true. Let's start. I'm going to show you some clips now from some victory speeches, starting first with Abigail Spanberger. Let's play this, you guys.
My fellow Virginians, tonight we sent a message. We sent a message to every corner of the Commonwealth, a message to our neighbors and our fellow Americans across the country. We sent a message to the whole world that in 2025, Virginia chose pragmatism over partisanship. We chose our Commonwealth over chaos. You all chose leadership that will focus relentlessly on what matters most: lowering costs, keeping our communities safe, and strengthening our economy for every Virginian. Leadership that will focus on problem solving, not stoking division. We chose leadership that will always put Virginia first.
Was Abigail Spanberger, who is the projected governor of Virginia. Okay, let's tune in now on Nikki Sherrill, the projected governor of New Jersey, and a piece of her acceptance speech.
Here in New Jersey, we know that this nation has not ever been, nor will it ever be, ruled by kings. We take oaths to a constitution, not a king. We've chosen liberty, the very foundation of democracy, and we've chosen prosperity necessary to create opportunity for all.
My favorite part of Nikki Sherrill's speech was when she quoted Emma Lazarus, who wrote the poem on the Statue of Liberty, and right after that, Bruce Springsteen. remember the Statue of Liberty, I believe, is right there. She claimed it as part of New Jersey, right there on Ellis Island, or it's the first thing you see when you get to New Jersey. I'm not sure how she did that. Okay, so now let's turn to the highlight of the evening, a new way forward, and that is Zohran Mamdani. I'm going to give you a series of clips from his speech. I want to say to you, sometimes people talk about someone as a generational talent. I think that's an overused term, but sometimes people are more than a generational talent. Mamdani has not just the charisma and the heart, but the rhetorical tact and the humanity to stand right there with someone like MLK and Barack Obama in terms of, I think in my lifetime, some of my favorite political, not speeches, but pieces of rhetoric would be, rhetoric is the wrong word, pieces of, I guess, those arguments. I think letter from a Birmingham jail, something I return to over and over again. And what I heard last night gave me the chills as I was listening to Mamdani's speech. I thought to myself, regardless of what happens in New York or in this country, next week, the week after, the year after, 10 years from now, this will go down as one of the best speeches in not just decades, not just generations, not just 100 years, but in American political history. It is beyond. So I'm going to give you some excerpts.
New York will remain a city of immigrants, a city built by immigrants, powered by immigrants, and as of tonight, led by an immigrant.
Okay, that was one of my favorite things. They say Donald Trump's going to claim he wasn't on the ballot. You hear that he is. His policies and his behavior are definitely on the ballot. You heard that in Miguel Spanberger's speech and in Mickey Sherrill's, and now you're hearing it with Mamdani. I want to say something else. When Mamdani opened his speech, from the jump, he was who he is, unapologetic. He quoted Eugene Debs, for fuck's sake. I mean, Eugene Debs, you guys, was, as you probably know, a socialist candidate for president of the United States. He just jumped right in. Okay, let another clip from Mamdani.
So hear me, President Trump, when I say this. To get to any of us, you will have to get through all of us.
It's a solidarity message. He's not afraid. And another.
So Donald Trump, since I know you're watching, I have 4 words for you. Turn the volume up. We will hold bad landlords to account because the Donald Trumps of our city have grown far too comfortable taking advantage of their tenants.
Whoa. And there's more. Here's another clip, you guys.
We embrace this brave new course rather than fleeing from it. We can respond to oligarchy and authoritarianism with the strength it fears, not the appeasement it craves. After all, if anyone can show a nation betrayed by Donald Trump how to defeat him, it is the city that gave rise to him. And if there is any way to terrify a despot, it is by dismantling the very conditions that allowed him to accumulate power.
Amazing.
This is not only how we stop Trump, it's how we stop the next one.
One in the chat is mentioning, yes, AJ Vintage, yes, the Old Man Trump song written by Woody Guthrie is about his love for Trump. So what I want to point out to you, people are commenting on that excerpt that I just showed you. Unlike the conventional wisdom or the lack of ability in politicians, Mondani doesn't dumb down his speech. He interlaces it with information that people can relate to and references and vocabulary that is sophisticated. And this concept that there's certain structural conditions and legal, would say legal systems or lack of enforcement of the laws and such that led to someone like Donald Trump into power. And the idea that he's talking about dismantling those conditions is reminding us Donald Trump is a symptom, sort of symbiotic here, but he's a symptom of a very sick society and he's made us worse. And I really adore Mondani for not dumbing it down. I got two more and then some other stuff. Okay, here we go, another excerpt.
Even standing up for those we love. Whether you are an immigrant, a member of the trans community, one of the many black women that Donald Trump has fired from a federal job, a single mom still waiting for the cost of groceries to go down, or anyone else with their back against the wall, your struggle is ours too. And we will build a city hall that stands steadfast alongside Jewish New Yorkers and does not waver in the fight against the scourge of anti-Semitism. Where the more than 1 million Muslims know that they belong.
I think I was almost weeping when I heard that. Remember, there are people in the Democratic Party telling us to throw trans people and trans kids under the bus. They're telling us it's the quote unquote identity politics that are getting in the way of Dems winning. And the people who are saying this happen to be people who think they don't have an identity. And, you know, white men have identities. All of us do. We all are situated as individual people in the world and also with whatever comes with the categories in which the society organizes us historically has. And the idea that abortion is a fringe issue, not both a issue of freedom and an issue of advances and an issue of personal liberty. The idea that if you are someone who has been maligned and despised and discriminated against, and you are huge categories of society, that you should just ignore that so we can keep electing Democrats. What do Democrats stand for if they don't stand for all of us? And that is what me right here. And now let us play the next. Oh, and let me just add, I think it was in the Hamburger election in Virginia, her opponent was running like wall to wall anti-trans ads. People don't like that. Okay, so stop with the throwing someone under the bus because you think it makes bigots uncomfortable. Stand up for all of us.
Republicans are saying.
Okay, so this is the next thing I want to show you. This was a wonderful question Abby Phillip gave to AOC, Alexandra Ocasio. And let's play this. Sorry.
Republicans are saying that Chuck Schumer is afraid of you. Is he?
I don't think so. I think that, Senator Schumer and I have worked together. I think Republicans are afraid of me. I'll tell you that much. And I think that they project their fear of me onto him. So I think that they're just telling on themselves when they say that.
Okay, so I think she's very perceptive there. And it's good that she decided not to take the opening to attack Democrats. Big tent. Now, I want to show you one more thing. Someone was standing on the balcony, I think in New York, and they shared this the moment it was announced that Mondani had won. Let's listen to what it sounded like outside. And I'm cutting it there. It goes on for a while. Now, was this one and done? Was this just one night and then people are going to forget to turn out? I don't think so. I think Donald Trump is doing things that are happening today. Apparently, yesterday he had announced that he was inviting Republicans in the Senate to come to breakfast with him. I'm wondering how he's fitting this in because I thought he was going to try to show up at the Supreme Court today to intimidate the justices in the tariff case. And I think that starts around 10 a.m. However, maybe he can fit it in. At any rate, my thought is he was probably deciding to have this Senate here, knowing that it was going to be bad news in the election. And also, I think he might be demanding that they basically mute the filibusters. Don't know. What I will also tell you is he doesn't like this. He may be saying on Truth Social it has nothing to do with him, but he knows damn well that if he loses, and maybe even the Senate, his agenda is over. And he might even be impeached and convicted. Wouldn't that be great? I'm going to share with you, and this is my last before we go. This was Decision Desk last night, and we had. I think this is. I'm thinking this is C. Oh, maybe it's MSNBC. I'm not sure where this is. Where it must be MSNBC because Claire McCaskill is former senator in Minnesota. I think is on talking about what this could mean for the midterms in 2026. And I know, guys, that's a year away, but a year is a lifetime. And it's also like this in politics. This is what she's thinking. We shouldn't get complacent. And the folks at Indivisible, as Leah Greenberg said, we are going to have to show up even stronger and in more numbers because they're going to try to the elections try to not let us vote. So let's give a clear though. This is very hopeful.
No, not so much. So I think the DOJ, all the stuff with him prosecuting his enemies, it piles up after a while, and the frustration that people have that I encounter at the grocery store. What can we do, Claire? What can we do?
Yeah.
I mean, you guys see it, right?
Yeah.
Everywhere you go. Well, today people could do something. They could vote. And I think unless Donald Trump turns into a different person tomorrow, I think this trend will continue, and I think you're going to see. I've talked to a lot of people tonight, and there's people like Sherrod Brown that are very happy tonight.
Yeah.
There are people like Roy Cooper that are very happy tonight. I think the Senate, we didn't think the Senate was going to be in play next year. I think after tonight, the Senate's definitely in play.
It definitely is. It's on the on that sort of circle.
It's on the cusp.
On that circle.
Concentric circle.
Right before they get to the
Texas.
batter's boxes. That
Next
warm-up
year,
circle.
Texas, I'm talking to you. You can do it
goodness.
next
There you
year,
go.
Texas.
Okay, so of course, Sherrod Brown, who lost his seat in the Senate, is now running for the empty seat that J.D. Vance vacated. So Bruce Sherrod, I love him, one of my favorite senators. And then Roy Cooper, of course, is running for Senate in North Carolina. Got a lot of work to do, no complacency, but let's take a victory lap. Enjoy this. Feel some hope again. And guys, I will see you tomorrow morning with some more news, probably word out from the U.S. Supreme Court. And I know I didn't give you a full update about how the Sam Bankman-Fried case went. So in a nutshell, I don't think that, my prediction is the Court of Appeals will not overturn his conviction. However, they may send back or reject or overturn, I should say, the $11 billion forfeiture order and ask for the court, for Judge Kaplan to look into that or a different standard to that. That's my prediction. I don't fully know. It's going to be a while before we know. However, the big question is ends up pardoning him before then. We shall see. The reason why he might not pardon him is I'm not sure how much money Bankman-Fried has to sort of grease the wheels there, but we'll see. Okay, guys. See you in the morning, and no crazy town today. Just wonderful news.
and we are together in this democracy we work for. And again, welcome to the Jen Taub Show.